what do you think if legislators who backstabbed you all and went over to the other side and formed a government with the BJP were to reach out to Uddhav Thackeray today? Do you think that you all should look at this as an opportunity to build bridges?
No, what has happened is in the past 1 year, Uddhavji and Adityaji have been touring extensively. We have been engaging with the party workers, party cadre. They are angry, they are agitated. People of the state are agitated with the way they conducted themselves. They backstab not just Uddhavji, they backstab the entire idea of what Bala Sahib Thackerayji built Shiv Sena on. So we have identified candidates, we have identified the party workers who were long sidelined because prominence was given to these MLAs, and they were given tickets over other party workers. So we have been working. So whether they return, they do not return. The point is very clear. We have worked hard on ground. We continue to be popular, and we are going to the people of the state talking about just how Bharatiya Janata Party not just backstabbed one regional party, they backstabbed two regional parties who are working in the interest of the people of Maharashtra.
Let's talk. I know we have only a few minutes left, but let's talk a little bit about Sharad Pawar. There is a narrative around Sharad Pawar that there is no craftier politician than him. There is also a theory that many politicians I've spoken to, they'll never say it publicly, but they believe it privately, that Mr. Pawar is in on this game. Mr. Pawar hasn't been betrayed. Mr. Pawar has sent Ajit Pawar and Praful Patel to the BJP. After all, he's done it before. And he spoke about it just a week before all of this happened, when Ajit Pawar famously took that oath with Devendra Fadnavis. ये सब पहले हो चुका है. This is like watching part 2 of the same film. Do you
No, I
believe?
don't.
Do you believe Sharad Pawar is playing a double game?
No, I wouldn't want to speculate on that, considering how the events have unfolded today, with Ajit Pawar going all out and attacking Sharad Pawarji and saying the kind of things which are not heard of or were not expected. And let me tell you, Maharashtra has seen this Chacha Bhatija battle earlier with Raj Thackeray and Bala Sahib Thackerayji. But Bala Sahib Thackerayji emerged stronger, and Raj Thackeray lost his identity, lost whatever standing that he had. So all the language that I heard Ajit Pawar speak today, whatever the permutations, combinations that Sharad Pawarji might have been trying earlier to strengthen his party, he may question all of that. But to attack a person for his age and to attack him for his craftiness, to attack him for various decisions he's taken, shows that too much water has flown under the bridge. And this doesn't really look like, that it is some well understood game between the two. And if you see, the platform was used to attack Sri Sharad Pawar, while Sharad Pawarji continued to maintain his dignity, and so did Supriya.
In other words, you believe that Sharad Pawar and Supriya have genuinely been betrayed by Ajit Pawar?
Absolutely. That is my understanding of how politics is.
Okay, now, do you think it's a double-edged sword for you to point out the political hypocrisy of the BJP attacking Ajit Pawar for corruption, Praful Patel with charges, others who have switched over for corruption, because the argument could then be made that you're accepting those allegations. And if you're accepting those allegations, why were you in partnership with them?
No, we are not accepting any allegations. We did not say it that it's a nationally corrupt party. It was Narendra Modi ji, just 48 hours prior to the split, who said this. He said their corruption meter doesn't stop. He said 70,000 crore worth of corruption. So either this could be true. Today they've been given a clean sheet, or they are sitting in alliance, sitting in partnership with the BJP. Either what the Prime Minister said was correct, or what is happening right now in the state of Maharashtra and as it unfolds stands correct. So either they're clean or they're not. Why would ED be running after Hassan Mushrif if there was nothing against him? So I'm not here to give certificates of their purity. I'm here to understand that a Kirit Sumaya, a Prime Minister of this country, the Home Minister of this country, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, which is Devendra Fadnavis, were all speaking about it. But suddenly everyone's gone quiet. Everything's all clean. Prime Minister hasn't even tweeted congratulating Ajit Pawar. Amit Shah hasn't spoken a word about it. What does it speak? It speaks of deep unrest within the BJP as well. It also speaks that BJP has totally messed up its Maharashtra understanding, and hoping
Why
that
are you calling it a mess up? Why are you calling it a mess up? Because in the ruthless world of politics, numbers have the last laugh, and Ajit Pawar says he has more numbers than Sharad Pawar, just like
No,
Eknath Shinde said he had more numbers than your faction of the Shiv
Barkha,
Sena.
just one thing. These numbers apply till 2024. What happens in 2024 will be the will of the people. So
Yeah.
let's not be fooled by what numbers they have right now. So good, maybe enjoy it for another 8 months and continue a corruption and corrupt model that they are doing right now. What happens after that? So these numbers will also change. And when I say messed up, they've messed up the 2024 scenario. Every survey was showing Mahavikas Agadi emerging stronger. And with this kind of a double betrayal by splitting two parties to gain popularity and gain numbers, is going to reflect on how people come out and vote. We've seen it in Karnataka. We've seen it very recently in Karnataka.
Okay, I know I have just 2 minutes left with you, so let me ask you two quick questions. One, do you believe the Maharashtra Congress will be next? I ask you this because I spoke to somebody in the Ajit Pawar camp earlier today, and they seem to believe that the Congress is also showing signs of vulnerability.
No, what would those who are defecting from the Congress get at this point in time, except for humiliation? Simply because BJP has nothing to offer. It has nothing to offer to its own MLAs, long-standing party workers who have stood by them during the tough times. They've got 10 cabinet berths, out of which 8 have gone to those who have been with the BJP. Two or three of them have gone to those who come from other parties, who are imports of other parties. Out of the 30 in the cabinet right now, 9 are those who are called corrupt, which is the national, the corrupt party or whatever the prime minister called it. Then you have those 9 from the Shiv Sena faction of Eknath Shinde, which again had various corruption charges going against them. So, what is the Congress looking at, or those who are looking at defecting from the Congress looking at? Because it just doesn't add up. And I'm sure whether it is the Ajit Pawar faction which is saying this, they're only doing this to sow more doubts in the Mahavikas Agadi, which is not going to happen.
Finally, would you concede? And in a way, you've said, okay, let's write off these 8 months. We'll see what happens in 2024. But the opposition across the country was trying to put up a united counterweight to the BJP. Right now, people see this happening and they're like, oh, the opposition can't keep its own house together. Do you concede that this has been a big knock for the opposition unity project?
No, opposition not keeping its house together is an incorrect thing to say. By forcing central agencies inside every home and coming up with some charges which you will not be able to prove in the court because no convictions have happened, just goes to show that BJP has the habit of gaining popularity through unconstitutional means, and they will continue to do it. So keeping the house together and keeping the opposition together, we will stick together simply because, and it becomes all the more reason to be together, to fight this unconstitutionality that is prevailing, to fight this dictatorial behavior that exists, to fight the misuse of central agencies, to fight for the voice of the people of Maharashtra and the country, to fight against this kind of a corrupt party that BJP has become, where they have taken all those they accused of corruption into their own fold, to fight against the farmers' interest, women's interest, and the interest of the youth. So we need to come together to give an alternate vision of what India stands for. And that vision definitely is not what BJP is presenting at this point in time.
Do you believe Eknath Shinde would remain the chief minister of Maharashtra?
That's $1 million question. And because I tell you why, 16 of those MLAs who stand to be disqualified, which the Supreme Court has mandated the speaker to do, Eknath Shinde happens to be one of them. So
yeah, but you really believe the speaker will act against the BJP and the Shinde?
We have moved the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court categorically said since it comes in their domain, and if he doesn't do that, the needful, we can go back to the Supreme Court. So we have gone back to the Supreme Court.
He left the decision. The court left the decision to the speaker, right?
Yes.
Why do you believe the speaker would necessarily move in favor of this?
Because they did not just leave it to the speaker. What they said was that since it comes under the constitutional domain of the speaker, he will have to take this call in a time-bound manner, which we assumed would be 2 months, 3 months, which he hasn't done. And they had also said that we can feel free to come back to the Supreme Court if he doesn't move on this. So we have moved the Supreme Court that this was supposed to be done in a time-bound manner. It hasn't been done, and the speaker needs to be taken to task. I think the Supreme Court can only step in when the one who is a constitutional authority refuses to do his job, which the speaker is refusing to do. We will fight this out till the end.